afternoon. Welcome to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for 17th August 2023. Starting with the editorial section and the today's agenda, we'll be covering new bills and a principal course for criminal law reforms from the Hindu, followed by the news update, which includes the national news, international news, important days, awards and sports, and the last legal news update. Now, coming up to the today's editorial section, new bills and a principal course for criminal law reforms. What are the recently introduced laws? The recent introduction of the three bills transforming India's criminal laws are the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita to replace the Indian Penal Code, the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita to replace the Code of Criminal Procedure, and the Bharatiya Sakshi Bill to replace the Indian Evidence Act has ignited a spectrum of reaction. Now, here the question comes up that what should criminal law reforms should ensure? Amidst what is unfolding, it has to be ensured that there is a debate which also leads to productive contribution. This is where the challenge lies. Since the bills have the potential to shape our future criminal law, the issues of sustainability, efficacy, adherence to the rule of law, and justice delivery capacity are paramount. Now, principles of criminal law, in Ellen Norrie words, are a site of struggle and contradiction. Capturing the collective public aspirations within criminal law reforms presents a formidable challenge. The disparities between polarized popular opinion must be balanced with a state perspective. Criminal law is an instrument of social control. It molds and guides us in more ways than one. But the task of criminal law reforms become complicated because the stakeholders and functionaries of the McCoy era criminal law have been conditioned for as long as 163 years. Now, the important question arises that what lies ahead? It is too early for us to decide whether the bill will cause large-scale changes in the legal landscape. The success or failure of criminal law reforms hinges on their inception, formulation, resilience, and a far-sightedness. Now, the purport alteration in this law pale, or to say it is relatively less grave of a challenge when we compare it to deep-seated challenges that have surrounded India's criminal justice system. Seemingly, the bills highlight an abundance of missed opportunities. Now, let us look at some of the reformatory changes. The contention or assertion that these bills are draconian when compared to their previous iteration lacks merit. Now, what are the changes? The bills exhibit or shows moderative modification, fostering gender inclusivity and replacement of anachronistic terms such as unsoundness of mind with mental illness. There is also a measured reconfiguration in punishments for minor and serious offenses. The integration of information and communication technology applications with the criminal justice process is noteworthy. Although innovations in the new laws are limited, but introduction of provisions such as trial in absentia and community service is a form of punishment is commendable. The exclusion of attempted suicide and adultery aligns the black letter of the law with the Supreme Court of India's decisions. Notably, the offense of sedition has been judicially tempered through the introduction of culpability constraints. Newly created offenses such as terrorism, organized crime, mob lynching, and negligent acts to add novel dimension. Now, what is the test? The debate on the bill should not revolve merely around ascertaining positive or negative outcomes. Instead, the pivotal concern lies in ascertaining whether the fundamental tenets of criminal jurisprudence have been upheld throughout this process. The trajectory of the reforms and their operational dynamics remain uncertain, but the principled foundation of criminal laws can be examined methodically. The, prim the primary principle for such adjudication is the extent to which reform address the needs and concern of those impacted by criminal justice, especially the realization of fundamental and statutory rights. Now, mostly the criticism of criminal law reforms originates from concern regarding a potential infringement on individual liberties. Therefore, the amended law must strike a balance between state security and individual freedom. The efficiency of these reforms hinges, or to say it hangs on their capacity to effectively curtail potential misuse by functionaries. Criminal laws are generally detested for their failure to discharge their function as protective tools for subject. Law reform typically fail on this count. Second, following the principles of criminalization in creating new offenses is equally pertinent. There is a need to study the principled basis of the harm or the moral legal offense caused by such criminalized conduct. Thirdly, criminal laws in this country further class divide as the rich and the resourceful get better access to justice when compared to the marginalized and the vulnerable. Therefore, the principles of equality and equability become essential checks on criminal law reforms. Arguably, criminal law confront a crisis of public trust resulting in legitimacy deficiency. The upcoming bills therefore face a pivotal challenge in bridging the gap between rhetoric and reality. The potency of reforms hinges on the criminal justice system capacity to implement it effectively. Regardless of their linguistic merit, systematic shortcomings make numerous legal provision infeasible. Finally, the effectiveness of the reform will also be tested on the basis of its impact upon the status of vulnerable victims of the poor. Now, expectations from the Select Committee. As the bill are placed before the Select Committee for its consideration, it is expected that this committee will allow greater engagement to improve the drafts in terms of language and substance, and the space must be utilized to accommodate greater provision concerning victim rights and participation, hate crime, bail, sentencing framework, and legal aiding pending bills. The criminal law reforms must foster the rule of law and fortify the pursuit of justice. Now, this particular editorial was all about the new criminal law reforms that are come up. What are the expectations from the state committee? What is the criticism? What is the test on which these criminal law reforms will be judged? And what are the major changes that particular criminal law reform have come up? Now, starting with the national news of the day, Odisha launches scheme to improve banking penetration. With around 65% of the total panchayats in Odisha not having banking penetration, the state cabinet approved a scheme to open banking outlets in around 4,300 panchayats with a budgetary support of rupees 500 crore. The Odisha government will provide rent-free banking space for 5 years. It will also bear one-time expenses for fixed costs and recurring expenses for a period of 3 years. Under the scheme, the government will set up customer service point plus outlets in unbanked panchayats. The cabinet also approved a new scheme that is NUA Odisha, that is Nutana, Unnata, and Abhilasha, with an outlay of 385 crore that aims to skill 1 lakh youth every year in the state during the next 3 years. It's a very commendable step that Odisha government has taken. Do tell me in the comment box that who is the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha. Now, Coming up to the next national news of the day, eminent scientist Padma Shri M.R.S. Rao passes away. Padma Shri awardee and former president of Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, Professor M.R. Satyanarayana Rao passed away at the age of 75. Born in Mysuru, Professor Rao obtained his undergraduate and postgraduate degrees from Bangalore University. He got his PhD from the Indian Institute of Science and did his postdoctoral research at Baylor College of Medicine from USA. His research focused on chromatin biology, the study of the structure and function of DNA and its associated proteins. He was awarded Padma Shri in 2010. Coming up to the next national news, Sulabh International founder Bindeshwar Pathak passes away. Bindeshwar Pathak, the founder of the Sulabh International, passed away at the age of 80 due to cardiac arrest. Pathak was a pioneer in building public toilets. He founded Sulabh International, a social service organization that works to promote human rights, environmental sanitation, waste management, and reform through education. He established the Sulabh International Social Service in 1970 with the aim of resolving the country's sanitation problems. In 1991, Pathak was awarded the Padma Bhushan for his work for liberating and rehabilitating manual scavengers and also for preventing environmental pollution by providing core flush toilet technology. Sulabh writes on this side. He was the brand ambassador for Indian Railway Swachh Rail Mission and was awarded the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence in Public Administration, Academics and Management in 2017. Coming up to the next national news, Kupwara bags Best Performer District Award under Prime Minister Awas Yojana. In a remarkable achievement, Frontier District Kupwara has been conferred with the prestigious award for the Best Performer District in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana by Manoj Sinha, who is the Lieutenant Governor, during a felicitation ceremony held at Srinagar under Awas Mega Mahotsav. Kupwara district has received the award in recognition of the construction of 4,723 Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana houses out of target 4,902 houses for financial year 2022 and 2023. Pertinently, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin is successfully fulfilling the dream of several poor and vulnerable families having their own Pakka house in Frontier Kupwara district. The next national news. The National Automated Fingerprint Identification System gets Gold Award for Foolproof Fingerprint Identification System. The NCRB, the National Automated Fingerprint Identification System of NCRB, has won the Gold Award under the Excellence in Government Process Re-Engineering for Digital Transformation Category 1 of Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. The team has created a central database of fingerprints of criminals which can be accessed by user from all states, UTs and central agency. This has resulted in a qualitative improvement in the efficiency and effectiveness of the criminal detection and investigation process. Now, the next national news, government to launch Vishwakarma Yojana for skilled traditional craftsmen. The day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the launch of Vishwakarma Yojana in the coming days, during his independence address of rupees 13,000 crore scheme, which is aimed at benefiting individuals skilled in traditional craftsmanship, was announced yesterday after a meeting of Union Cabinet. And it was approved by Cabinet Committee of Economic Affairs, chaired by Prime Minister. Now, what is this Yojana all about? So let us understand the scheme. The scheme covers 18 traditional trades across rural and urban areas and is projected to reach out to 30 lakh artisan families. The trades covered are carpenter, boat maker, armor, blacksmith, hammer and toolkit maker, locksmith, goldsmith, potter, sculptor, etc. These artisans and craftspeople will be provided recognition through PM Vishwakarma certificate and identity card and extended a collateral-free credit support of up to rupees 1 lakh and rupees 2 lakh at a concessional interest rate at 5%. A stipend of rupees 500 will be provided for skill trading and rupees 1500 to purchase modern tools. 5 lakh families will be covered in the first year and 30 lakh families over next 5 years. Now, Center renames Nehru Memorial as Prime Minister Museum and Library. The Nehru Memorial Museum and Library has officially been renamed as the Prime Minister Museum and Library Society with effect from Monday by the Center. In mid-June, during a special meeting of Nehru Memorial Museum Library Society, it was resolved to change its name to Prime Minister Museum and Library. The project was approved by Executive Council in its 162nd meeting held in November 2016. The Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya was opened to the public on April 21st last year. Now, coming up to the next national news of the day, Honorable Chief Justice of India launches Suswagatam Portal for e-passes to enter Supreme Court. The Supreme Court on August 10 announced the launch of portal Suswagatam, which would enable advocates, visitors, interns, and others to register themselves online and get e-pass to enter the apex court. The Suswagatam is a web-based and a mobile-friendly application that allows users to register themselves online and request for e-passes for various purposes such as attending court hearing, meeting advocates. Now, coming up to the international news of the day, Morocco enters race to join BRICS, officially submits application. In the light of upcoming BRICS summit, which is scheduled for August 22nd to 24th in South Africa, Morocco has officially submitted its bid to join BRICS grouping. Now, what is the upcoming summit all about? The summit in South Africa will bring together around 60 heads of state and will focus on promoting local currencies with the bloc. More than 40 countries have expressed interest in joining BRICS group of nations. Nations that express their interest include Algeria, Argentina, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Cuba, the Democratic Republic of Congo, then Gabon and Kazakhstan. Now let us discuss about what is BRICS all about. Making up a quarter of the global GDP and 40% of the population, the alliance has in recent years ramped up activities with the upcoming summit expected to be used to discuss the logistics of the bloc forecasted expansion. BRICS member will still coordinate on trade matters and have established the New Development Bank as a policy bank. The bank is focused on infrastructure loans in an attempt to decrease member reliance on the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. Now, please do tell me in the comment section, when was the BRICS group formed? And where is the headquarters of the New Development Bank? Do tell us in the comment section. Now, next international news of the day, golfer Lilia Wu captures second major 2023 at Women British Open. Former All-American Lilia Wu player played a stunning final round of golf to clinch the Women's British Open at the Walton Heath Golf Club in England on Sunday by 6 strokes. The 25-year-old from Fountain Valley also won the Chevron Championship in April, becoming the first female player to win 2 majors in the same year since Jing Young Ko in 2019 and the first American woman since Julie Inkster in 1999. Now, let us discuss about a battle day, which is Bennington Battle Day. Bennington Battle Day is observed annually on August 16. This day honors the valor and determination displayed by American and Vermont forces during the Revolutionary War Battle of Bennington in 1777. It's a state holiday in Vermont where people honor the American victory against the British forces during the American Revolutionary War, which was a pivotal moment for America's independence. The annual tradition, including the memorial services for the fallen soldiers, are held. Now, coming up to the legal update of the day, Maharashtra Cooperative Society Act does not curtail power of police investigation under CRPC by the Honorable Supreme Court. While hearing an appeal in the matter involving the provisions of the Act, Maharashtra Cooperative Society Act, a three-judge bench of the Supreme Court held, the police have independent power and even duty under the CRPC to investigate into an offense once information has been drawn to their attention, indicating the commission of an offense. The power is not curtailed by the provision of 1960 Act. Also, while addressing another aspect of the case regarding the application of the CRPC on special laws, the court held that in determining whether a special procedure will override the general procedure laid down under the CRPC, the courts have to ascertain whether the special law excludes, either specifically or by necessary implication, the applications of the provision of CRPC, which was held in Dhanraj and Aswani versus Amarjit Singh, Mohinder Singh Bassi, and others. The last legal update of the day: right to construct a temple on private property protected under Article 25-26. It can't offend religious sensibilities of others by Allahabad High Court. The Allahabad High Court last week observed that the right to construct a temple on private property is protected under Article 25-26 of the Constitution, and such construction cannot offend the religious sensibilities of any other community. The bench of Justice Salil Kumar Rai and Justice Surendra Singh also said that the mere fact that the masjid exists nearby the plot on which the temple is proposed to be built by itself cannot raise an apprehension that the communal peace or public order would be disturbed if a temple is built on the private plot. Held in Acharya Pramod Krishnamji Maharaj versus State of UP and others. That's all for the today's news update. Do like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.